Change time has expired. With that, we go with the gentlelady from Indiana, Ms. Houchin, recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you to the ranking member, and thank you, Secretary Yellen, for your testimony and being here today. Like many of my colleagues, I have concerns about the ways in which this administration continues to support policies and practices at international financial institutions that do nothing to further American interests and instead seem to only help China and our competitors continue to make gains at our expense, from allowing mission creep into social and climate issues to giving our adversaries the upper hand in key geostrategic regions. This administration has been allowing America's influence abroad to be undermined, and it has to stop. Starting with the 1st of this month and running until the end of next June, the World Bank is aiming to devote 45% of its financing to climate-related programs. In the bank's latest annual report, climate was referred to some 200 times, largely in the context of the bank's green energy investments and reducing the reliance of developing countries on fossil fuels. At the same time, China has been taking an all-of-the-above approach to energy investments, pushing renewable energy while also developing oil and gas resources. One of our foremost concerns when it comes to China and the CCP is the extent to which they exert their influence over developing countries by providing funding for basic necessities when half the population of sub-Saharan Africa does not have access to electricity to begin with. It's not hard to see why China's influence in that area might be growing. Secretary Yellen, if 45% of the bank's resources are chasing arbitrary climate targets, why wouldn't developing countries keep looking to China and to Chinese lenders to meet their core developmental needs?
Well, the World Bank and the MDBs are heavily focused on broad development goals, relieving poverty, and ensuring sustainable growth. But achieving those goals is also linked to addressing climate, which is increasingly compromising the development goals, especially in the poorest places. And climate and access to electricity are linked. At the spring IMF World Bank meetings, President Bonga—
Secretary Yellen, I'm sorry, I only have 5 minutes, so I'm going to go on to another question. 60% of the U.S. electricity generation does come from fossil fuels, but as part of this administration's climate agenda, you are voting against virtually all World Bank fossil fuel projects in Africa. Why is the Treasury holding Africans to a standard that the wealthiest countries in the world cannot meet?
This reflects the goals that Africa itself has, that very often, most often, renewables are the cheapest way of developing energy, and it's a question of bringing electricity. In Africa, 600 million Africans lack electricity, and renewables both address climate change and resilience and are the cheapest way of bringing electricity to those who don't have it.
Okay.
There's a goal of
one of the most egregious examples of the World Bank empowering China in its efforts to expand its geopolitical influence has been through allowing the CCP to overbuild its production capacity in certain products in order to flood the markets to other countries. They've done that with industries like aluminum extrusion, and now they've done it with solar technology. Last May, the president doubled U.S. tariffs on Chinese solar cells. And since the World Bank is aiming to direct 45% of its financing in the next year to climate projects, the bank's money may still just go to purchase Chinese solar panels, batteries, and the like. This seems to be supporting China financially in their efforts to expand their geopolitical footprint. Why is the Treasury supporting this if the department is concerned with Chinese overcapacity and the CCP dominating the market in green energy industries?
Well, we are very concerned and attentive to procurement strategies and make sure that all of the MDBs have open processes and that American firms know American firms rarely bid on these contracts, and we want them to do so.
And the department, do they intend to then roll back the reliance on Chinese solar panels in order to prevent them from profiting financially from from the United States in this way.
Well, if American firms are